really great documentary called Poverty Inc.
I know it.
Have you read about it?
I live it.
Oh man! Jeez.
Yeah, he's not kidding. He's in radio.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it doesn't pay much, does it? It's so much fun though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Poverty Inc. Sort of delves into the harm that charity does when we send money over to Africa. It basically shows us the whole other side of that. Like, you know, we as Americans, we think, oh, we're helping, you know, this impoverished nation with all this charity, and sometimes we actually do more harm than good. And I don't really want to go too much into it. I'd rather people go see the movie, but it is definitely eye-opening. Great movie, and it's got Bono in it.
Does it?
And he's a whipping boy in this movie.
Wow.
No way, Bono?
Yeah, it's really
He's Maureen's number 3, you know that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, he's treated like a number 2 in this movie.
Hey.
But it's really great. It's a great movie.
Other movies that are must-see in Docutah.
Must-see, there's a film called The Engineer, which is about El Salvador's lone criminologist. He basically goes around finding missing bodies.
The only one.
The only one.
Wow.
And it's shocking. Like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. It's not a movie for the squeamish, but it's haunting, very poignant, powerful stuff if you can handle the sight of dead bodies, because this movie is unflinching, and I was very surprised.
That sounds heavy. What's that one called?
It's called The Engineer.
Wow.
So we should load up on popcorn before sitting down.
Probably not. I'll tell you, the student films knocked it out of the park. A lot of great student films. There's a film that was made here locally called Still Going Strong about the Boston Marathon that a lot of folks at Dixie College worked on, and it's fantastic, inspirational, just a film about these marathon runners picking up the pieces after the bombings and refusing to let that horrible thing stop them from coming back. And it's terrific. Great movie.
How many submissions?
Oh gosh, I want to say I think they're showing anywhere from 65 to 70 movies. There's features, there's shorts, there's student films. There's a little something for everybody. I think they're kicking off tomorrow in the town square with a doc about the construction of the I-15, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe it's free. They're just doing it like one of those outdoor movies in the park. You can go check it out.
And you can buy, from what I understand, you can buy day passes or tickets individually.
Yeah, there's individual tickets, or you can buy passes. If you go to docutah.com, you can get tickets online. It's got a whole schedule. I've seen, I think, around half the movies, maybe 35 films, and there's some really great stuff in the mix. It's the 5th year, and it's growing. Like it's getting big.
I believe it sold out last year, didn't it, for the first one?
A lot of those screenings were sold out.
Nice.
It was fantastic. All that's missing from Docutah this year is local celebrity, Sheldon Demke.
Oh.
You are too kind.
He's always there in spirit.
I am there in spirit, and I might come see some of the movies. I don't know if you know this, Peter, but Adam is actually one of the judges of Docutah. He is one of the pristine judges.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would go.
I would definitely.
They're scraping the bottom of the barrel for judges this year. Clearly, Bruce Bennett is judging. Rick Esther Bienstock, who made Tales from the Oregon Trade, and then we've got a professor from USC Film School judging also. So, some great movies. I'm tired of documentary being the dirty word. A lot of people don't want to go because they think, boring. This is gonna be some boring educational thing. They can be entertaining and enlightening.
Well, you've already got me hooked on the one about the criminal...
The dead bodies.
Yeah, I'm all over that. Yeah,
really great stuff. There's another film, a short called Catalina Island, and I didn't know this. They set up sort of like a wildlife preserve there where they take animals, endangered species, and throw them on Catalina Island.
Not literally throw them.
No, not that would be detrimental to the purpose. Yeah. The American bison, the fox, and the bald eagle, and it reminded me of one of those awesome Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom. You remember that show with all the? Peter thinks that's so funny.
He's rolling on the ground.
Did you not like that show, Peter?
Loved it. I don't know what.
He was too busy watching the Cosby Show.
I was too busy eating Jello pudding.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good segue into some cool local news about our buddy Sean Lebrecht, filmmaker.
Yes, please.
Yes,
this,
right.
Have you
chocolate
heard about
cake.
this?
Chocolate cake.
No.
This is
Even
Does Peter
cooler.
not know about this?
I don't think Peter knows yet.
No.
Sean Lebrecht, local filmmaker, has been.
Don't tell him. So let's set it up. Let's set it up first. So you know about Project Greenlight, right?
Oh yeah.
Project Greenlight is Ben Affleck and Matt
Damon's.
Damon, right?
Damon.
They did a couple seasons of Project Greenlight.
3 seasons. It's been about 10 years. John Gulager won. Who else? Pete Jones, who made Stolen Summer. He went on to write Hall Pass for the Fairleys. And then the guys that made The Battle of Shaker Heights. John Gulager made that horror movie Feast. Have you seen Feast?
No.
Yeah, that was in 2005. That was the last time they did the show, and it's basically a reality show. They search for amateur or professional filmmakers, and they try to pluck somebody from obscurity and give them a shot at making a movie. And John Gulager won and went on to make Feast. And so now, after all these years, they've decided to bring it back, which I think is really smart because storytelling is much more accessible now with the the software programs, all the camera equipment you have at your disposal. As long as you have the ability to tell a story,
right?
The world is your oyster.
Well, don't let that get in the way. Yeah, I mean,
So they called for filmmakers, Peter. They called the world for filmmakers.
Yes.
To submit a 4-minute short. Was it 3?
3 minutes.
Oh, a 3 minute.
Right, and
So we had, literally thousands of submissions went to Ben and Matt Damon, and they.
I love Matt Damon.
And this week they narrowed the thousands and thousands of films down to 200?
They narrowed it down to 200, and our good friend Sean Lebrecht is one of the top 200.
Because I know he cut.
No, we're not allowed to talk about that.
We're not.
No, I guess it's he's there. They don't want there's rules with
this isn't Nom here. There are rules.
So they're not allowed to talk about the movies they've submitted. They haven't even really showed them to the public. But basically, what the process is anyone could go on and judge. You could judge up to 30 short films. The catch was you can't just go on there and judge for your friend's film. It's all at random.
Right. Oh, I judge.
So there you go. So Sean is in the top 200.
Nice.
Our good buddy Sean.
Nice.
And,
Does he get a check?
Not yet. But now all the filmmakers that were chosen for the top 200 had to do a 2-minute bio, and they had to do it in a lighthearted, comical fashion. And Sheldon and I were fortunate enough to go over and kind of watch what he was doing, and it was a ton of fun.
And or participate? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we participated.
Did it have a Back to the Future theme? Can we just?
We're not
allowed to discuss in any way, shape,
but we will say that Sean loves him some Back to the Future.
He does, doesn't
we'll
he?
leave it at that. I saw the 2-minute reel today, and it's really great. I really liked it. He submitted, so we all have our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I have a really good feeling. So the next step is they narrow down the 200 to the top 20 by way of these bios that everybody submitted. I really do think he's got a good chance.
When does he get word? Does he know?
I think September 15th or something like that.
Ooh.
And then the top 20 go to Hollywood to meet Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. And they actually get thrown in the ringer, man.
Wow.
So let's hear it for Sean Lebrecht.
Yeah.
Nice job, Sean.
Nice job, Sean. Well done.
Talented filmmaker right here in St. George, Utah.
Yeah.
We had a few filmmakers submit movies, really good movies. Dan Fowlkes made a short film. Don Barfus, a few other people here locally, and I'm not sure what happened with everybody. And we're really close to Sean, so obviously we found out. But we couldn't be any happier for him.
No, and he's a good guy, and it's so nice when a genuinely nice person.
I agree.
Gets them.
And there's so much amazing talent in St. George, and anytime somebody is able to rise to the occasion and get their foot in the door, even though it was a baby step, it's still a step nonetheless.
Any word on, last I heard he was trying to get his chocolate cake movie to
Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
I mean, he's done everything. Bill Cosby did a Reddit, and Sean and Caitlin posted it all over there. If you guys haven't seen that, it's online, and it's very, very entertaining. So, anyway, we wish the best for Sean.
Yeah.
We hope it works out.
And there's going to be flutes playing and trombones and flowers and garlands of fresh
on top of a mountain.
herbs.
And you won't
And we
be
will
invited.
dance till the
I love Anchorman.
No, it's your favorite.
That's a classic comic.
Thoughts? What were your thoughts on the sequel?
Yeah, what were your thoughts on the sequel, Adam?
Number 2. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't capturing lightning in a bottle twice.
Yeah, right.
You know what they say? Sequels are tough.
Never
Comedy
equal.
sequel is the kiss of death. You could probably count the number of comedy sequels on one hand that were as good or better than the original. I mean, seriously, how many can you name?
Off the top of my head, not a one.
Christmas Vacation. And that could be argued. I mean, Vacation is an awesome movie. To call Christmas Vacation better,
Yeah, I'd
I
still-
don't know, but
no,
it's awesome.
I'd still have to go with the original.
Wayne's
on that
World 2, pretty great.
one. Pretty great.
So,
You know, let's talk about this summer. It has been such a horrible summer for movies. No, seriously. Well, box office. I'm
Box
talking
office.
yeah, box office is down.
Numbers. It's
which
been
is crazy because quality is up, in my opinion. I mean, you take away a few movies that were really disappointing. Like I wasn't big on Maleficent. I know I'm going to catch hell for that. But
Yeah, no,
I wasn't.
I
a huge
wasn't
fan of
either.
that.
I wasn't
Amazing Spider-Man 2. Could have done without. But Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Loved it.
Fantastic. X-Men, Days of Future
Loved it.
Past, fantastic. Even smaller independent movies, Boyhood, phenomenal. Hopefully we'll get that before too long.
Fault of Our Stars or
I
Fault
loved
in Our
it.
Stars.
Loved it. Thought it was fantastic. What's recent? As Above, So Below, which I think you guys talked about that last week, didn't you?
No.
Oh no, you talked about that with somebody in private.
Yeah.
I actually
And that's where it will stay.
yeah. I heard it's not very well liked. I didn't think it was horrible. The found footage I can do without, like you guys. I'm tired of it.
I'm so done
That
with the
ship
found
has set
footage.
sail. I'm tired of it.
I was done with it after
Blair Witch Project,
Blair Witch,
which
to
set
be
the
honest.
stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought a couple of the Paranormal Activity movies were okay. I loved Chronicle. I thought Cloverfield was solid.
I did
Love
enjoy that. I gotta
Cloverfield
say,
was great.
yes. That was-
VHS 2, totally underappreciated little horror movie, horror anthology movie. I love that.
and little Matt Reeves, of course, from Cloverfield, went on to
Do Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
yeah.
And Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was my favorite film of the summer. personally.
Fantastic.
Although I love Guardians of the Galaxy too. Funny enough, Marvel won the summer.
They did.
They started off with Captain America: The Winter Soldier and closed out with Guardians of the Galaxy,
Which has now eclipsed Captain America
Yep,
as
it's
the
the
biggest
number one
film of 2000.
back-to-back Marvel movies. And then you factor in that even though they were released by competing studios, Marvel had a hand in Amazing Spider-Man 2 and X-Men.
Stan
Both
Lee
of
is
those-
banking it right
He
now,
really
isn't he? I mean, yeah.
And he's going to be at Salt Lake Comic-Con
Is
this
he?
week, which we can talk about. too,
Nice.
actually. Salt Lake Comic-Con. There's all kinds of stuff going on this week. Salt Lake Comic-Con, you guys may have heard, they were in the news recently. Comic-Con International out of San Diego slapped them with a lawsuit claiming that, they're confusing people into thinking that the two conventions are affiliated.
So I should put away my cosplay outfit?
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't get it. It's like Comic-Con International's like the bully of the schoolyard.
Yeah.
It's 750 miles away. Do
There
they
could
really-
be only one.
Yeah, I heard, this is the word on the street, that it stems from a couple of things that Salt Lake Comic-Con did that International took great offense to. Apparently, Salt Lake Comic-Con held their fan experience in Salt Lake the same weekend that International held WonderCon in Anaheim. So they were miffed about that, and they were also upset that I guess Salt Lake Comic-Con decked out a car with, Comic-Con Salt Lake advertising and drove it through San Diego during Comic-Con weekend.
Just give people someone to dress up about.
It's the spirit of competition.
I know Bernie actually got herself a Catwoman costume just to take to Comic-Con, and now it's just...
She could wear that on a Friday. I mean, it doesn't...
Apparently Maureen stole it. But anyway, the whole thing is silly. There's enough love to go around.
Exactly.
I mean, why are they picking a fight? Did they really think anyone that's in Salt Lake City, it's not like somebody who resides in Salt Lake City is, if they're going to make the trek
Right.
to Comic-Con
Yeah,
in
get the
San
car.
Diego,
Now we're going to San Diego.
if they're going to do it, they're still going to go to Salt Lake Comic-Con. So what's the big deal?
If you love movies, I mean, I'd go to both of them.
Yeah, and Salt Lake Comic-Con is more geared towards TV. They're not doing a bunch of high-profile movie presentations, which is why we like to go to Comic-Con in San Diego. But-
San Diego got Freddie Prinze Jr., so
There
if
you
that
go.
isn't enough of a hook...
No kidding.
I don't know what
Talking
is.
smack about
Talking
Kiefer
smack about
Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Man, that would have been a celebrity death match.
I would have liked to have seen that.
But Salt Lake Comic-Con's got a great lineup. Bruce Campbell and Ron Perlman are going to be there.
Nice.
Stan Lee. Just a really, really cool lineup. They're showing Evil Dead the Musical is going to be up there too. If you guys haven't seen that, it's a blast. Like if you ever go, sit in the first 3 rows, you're going to get wet.
It's like being
not with water either. It's crazy.
Now, a few weeks ago, Sheldon and I did a Evil Dead update. Now the latest word from Raimi is it's
out
going
of Comic-Con
to television.
International. Yeah, Sam Raimi did a panel. He's doing producing a video game adaptation of. Forgive me, I forget the name of it. I can't remember the name of it, but Raimi was on hand, and he dropped that bomb that now they're developing Evil Dead as a television.
I think that's a
vision show.
terrible idea, unless it's on premium cable where they can
If
get
it's
away.
going to be on HBO or something,
Yeah,
it
needs to be.
Yeah,
You can't stick that thing on CBS.
I don't know if it's going to be like a new group of people going to the same cabin every weekend or what the plan is. But Bruce Campbell apparently is attached. I don't know if he's acting in it or producing. All kinds of crazy stuff. Did you hear they're turning Shutter Island into a series? Ashcliff, it's called.
Devil's Advocate is being turned into a TV show.
I didn't hear that.
Keanu Reeves is stepping into television for.
That's not surprising because now everyone's going to TV. It seems to be where the
well, after 47 Ronin, I would as well.
Yeah. Ooh. I didn't see that one.
Oh,
was
dear.
it better than 40 through or
Not-
1 through 46 Ronin?
Yeah, if you haven't seen the first 46,
Yeah,
you're going to be
okay.
thoroughly confused.
Just checking.
Nothing works in that movie. Nothing resonates.
I
Nothing
heard
has
it's
any
not
impact.
good.
There's no emotional impact to anything that happens. It's just a series of.
I think I'm gonna go to TV now.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Well,
There is no spoon.
The Shutter Island, that
could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, DiCaprio's on board as an executive producer, but
Nice.
the pilot is being directed by Scorsese.
There you go.
So yeah, it should be interesting. What else we got in the news? Ghostbusters 30th anniversary.
Back on the big screen.
Yep, for 1 week only. It is playing here locally. Everyone should go check it out before it's gone.
I
It's at Pineview 10.
still fondly remember seeing it in the theater in '84.
What a summer that was, huh?
Oh, 84,
Temple
man.
of Doom, Gremlins,
Yeah.
Last Starfighter. I mean,
Loved
honestly, Police Academy. What a summer! The Natural, Karate Kid.
Yeah,
that was one.
no,
heck of a
'84
summer.
was the bomb. Now, I was reading an article last night that according to, or adjusting for inflation, this is one of the worst summers for Hollywood since the 80s. And
Yeah.
and that no film released in August has wound up topping
300
the year
Well,
since 1980.
yeah, it's crazy. Guardians of the Galaxy is proving to have legs, and I think with
22 million
Christmas-
back at number one last weekend.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Still going.
With Christmas, the holiday season, we've got Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. They're expecting
Can't
a lot
wait.
from that. And Hunger Games, of course, which
Ugh.
is a no-brainer. That movie's going to make a ton of cash.
Yeah.
You know, if Sin City had a talking raccoon, maybe.
Yeah, they needed more rocket.
Just
Yeah.
maybe.
Vin Diesel voicing a tree.
I am Groot.
I am good.
I don't even think Sin City's on the top 20 anymore.
It's not. Like I said, it plummeted. It did
Let's see, I'm gonna-
6.5 million in its opening weekend, and then it did like another 600,000.
I'm gonna go to Box Office Mojo and see where it wound up.
It was Ghostbusters did 4 times as much.
Ghostbusters came in at number 15.
Right, but that's pretty good for a movie
Yeah,
that
490,000.
I want to go on record too as saying I love the movie theater experience, and this retrospective thing, I wish it would grab hold more. I wish Ghostbusters would have done better. A couple of years back, they did the 3D IMAX Jurassic Park release, which was fantastic. I wish we'd get more of that, so like our kids could see the movies that we grew up on the big screen, which I love it. Raiders of the Lost Ark got the IMAX treatment a few years ago, and it was amazing. And I'm hoping when Episode 7 comes out, Disney and Fox can work through their differences and like do marathons.
Oh, I'm sure they will, because
transfer all the movies to IMAX.
There's money to be made here. Dame to Kill 4 came in at number 14 in its second week. 619,000.
Yeah, that's
less than 10 million in 2 weeks.
I made more than that at work.
Yeah,
last
yeah.
night.
I know. He's got more than that in his pocket right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyway,
Well, let's talk about the box office, the top 5 box office.
Well,
You got
Let's
the-
Be Cops came in at number 5 to
Let's Be Cops. It's bad when Let's Be Cops.
Yeah, is doing better than
Was there just a shortage of comedies this summer?
There were a couple of comedies that I liked. One didn't even come out. They came together with Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler, which is kind of a throwback to Zucker Brothers and Mel Brooks. It's a skewer of the romantic comedy. I loved it, but the high-profile stuff, you had Neighbors, which was a big hit, even though we didn't really think it was that.
I didn't care
It's
for
on
it.
DVD. I think it just came out on DVD. You can check it out. It's a frat boy comedy.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah, it's got nothing on it.
I'm kind of over the Seth Rogen stoner.
Well, his new film, The Interview with James Franco, looks fantastic, where they go out to assassinate.
Right.
Yeah. And I heard they had to change the ending because his feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
It's like,
he's so Rory.
we hurt his widow feelings.
As Above, So Below came in at number 5.
Right.
Let's Be Cops came in at number 4. If I Stay in its second week, number 3, 11.6 million. 32.2 million in 2 weeks. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles still going
Which I
strong.
haven't seen because of Megan Fox's comments.
No, actually, Adam is he's been on a soapbox for a while. He's been on a Michael Bay soapbox.
And somebody needs to be.
Let me explain myself. I was ready to go. You know me. I'll watch anything. I will give any filmmaker a chance, even if I'm not a fan. I was ready to go see Transformers. We saw footage at CinemaCon, and I wasn't sold on it. But I was going to go see it because I like to give everything a chance. And then Michael Bay made those comments that really just upset me. That somebody asked Michael Bay in an interview, what do you say to the people that hate your movies? And Michael Bay said, you know what? Let the haters hate. They're going to come and see my movie anyway. So it's not really a soapbox. It's just I realized I was part of the problem.
He's taking a stand.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be part of the problem. And, I haven't talked crap about the movie. It's not like I went and wrote a negative review on it. I haven't seen it. All I can tell you is everyone I've talked to disliked it. I think I've talked to one person.
I think we just found a Transformer.
Yeah.
This junk is going to put you through college.
I think we found a Transformer. Anyway, and I like Mark Wahlberg. I don't know. Eventually, someday, when it hits DVD,
I just feel bad for Stanley Tucci because he's such a quality actor. And
so's John Turturro.
Yeah, true.
And, and he took a pair of steel Transformer testicles in his face in the second movie, which might just be the greatest film of all time. Not. So anyway, Megan Fox, Michael Bay's, little crony, she comes out and makes the same comment about Turtles. Let the haters hate. They're going to go see it anyway. Now, the thing about Turtles, it does have a lot in common with Transformers. How hard can you be on a movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Exactly.
I know a lot of purists out there, they have that thing that attaches them, that nostalgic thing, and they want it to be a certain way, but I don't know. We saw footage at Comic-Con, and it looked loud and obnoxious. And Peter, you saw the movie. What did you think?
It was indeed loud and obnoxious. I couldn't find one redeeming quality to it.
It's so sad when Will Arnett
is the best thing in the movie. Really.
Let the haters hate.
And I love.
Anyway,
I've been a fan of William Fichtner for
Yes.
years.
Love him. Is he? Oh, that's right. He's in it.
And I thought, well, at
Shredder.
No.
He's not?
He's sort of the second
Tier
boss.
villain.
Yeah.
In there.
Before you get to the big
He's
boss.
fabulous. He's even good.
He's
in bad
fantastic.
movies. Yeah.
And not even he
salvages it.
salvages it. No.
Well,
it was the second week in a row that Sheldon and I came out of a movie saying we should have gone to see Hercules.
Let's not give it any more unwarranted, exposure. Let's move on to number one.
Number one was Guardians of the Galaxy back on top. 22.2 million, 280.5
Where
million.
it belongs.
I just went and saw it. Tanya and I took the kids to see it, and it was just the second time I'd seen it, and it's a blast, man.
It is.
There's a little bit of backlash. There is a demographic out there that's saying, I don't get what all the hype is. James Gunn did a terrific job. It's light, it's fun, it's a Marvel movie, but it's in its own sort of bubble. Like it's its own universe, and it's just fun.
And I loved its irreverent attitude.
Yeah.
There's a sequence during the opening title sequence when
when he's trying to get the orb,
and he kicks the lizard off the rock. I mean,
Yeah.
right away you know
This is
that
what-
they're
this
going
is-
for a slightly different.
yeah, it's like it's not sarcastic, but it's got that
Yeah.
sort of, you know.
It's very playful, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did get that feeling of that I had. It's much lighter in tone than say Star Wars,
Right.
But it has that spirit.
That same energy
It
to
reminded
it,
me
yeah.
of the early '80s Star Trek movies, particularly Voyage Home, like the one where they go back to get the whales.
Right.
Had elements of that, and that opening. I mean, the opening of the movie is grounded in drama. Something awful happens to Chris Pratt's character when he's a kid, and that opening kind of has a Last Starfighter feel to it.
Very much so.
And I can't say enough nice things about it. For me, it's an upper tier Marvel movie.
And I
It
went
really
in,
is. I don't think I liked it as much as Avengers, and I know a lot of people who think that Guardians of the Galaxy is the better movie. But you know what? I don't want to compare.
No.
Marvel's got such a great track record. They deserve a huge pat on the back. They're making great movie after great movie.
I thoroughly enjoyed Bradley Cooper's
Rocket.
vocalization of Rocket.
And,
I thought he
and
stole
you know
the
what?
movie.
I got to give props to Vin Diesel. I mean, he had to memorize a lot
He did.
of
He did.
dialogue.
Yeah.
And
He was in the studio for hours.
I'm sure
delivers it with absolute aplomb.
he
We'll
does.
leave it at that.
I'm sure he was thoroughly underpaid for his very hard work. And I had no idea who Chris Pratt was.
Well, you're going to now. He's
having a hell of a year.
Jurassic World
Yeah.
too next summer. So he's,
And I'm sure he'll be in the Lego movie sequel. That
Yep, Lego movie. He did. He had a tremendous year, and Zoe Saldana is good in the movie too. I guess it's kind of weak in the villain department. I guess you could say maybe. I mean, you know.
Well, a lot of,
who is it? Lee Pace is in there, and Josh Brolin is Thanos.
And a lot of fans had an issue with the fact that Thanos is kind of teased in the movie,
Yeah.
but I'm sure he'll
We'll be seeing him in an Avengers
in the
film.
sequel.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 has already been announced.
Right.
And it's just great to see. It just feels like there's just nothing Marvel can't do. It's pretty crazy. I mean, they had all this bad press with the Ant-Man debacle, which is now shooting. And all things considered, I'm really upset that Edgar Wright is gone.
I'm devastated. I've
But-
lost all interest in the movie.
You know, he was the only reason I wanted to see it. I didn't know who the hell Ant-Man was.
yeah,
I'm like,
Peyton
what-
Reed. I'm not.
Well, here's the thing. Surprisingly, I think they made probably the best choice they could. I know Peyton Reed is not an A-list director, but if you look at some of the stuff he's made, like Down with Love, he's got a very cool visual style about him, and he's a likable guy. So,
they also seem to be losing half their cast.
well, they got Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, and who's the girl?
Evelyn, what's her name?
Oh, Evangeline Lilly from Lost and The Hobbit. So, you know, is it high on my radar? No, I'm still not totally sold on it, and they're going to have to really shoot this thing quick to make the summer 2015 release date.
Yes Man.
They're like
is
Edgar
one-
Wright is gone.
that
Well,
one
let's
was okay.
who directed Yes Man? Let's get that guy.
The breakup.
Yeah. Well, you know, Adam McKay who did Anchorman, was this close to signing a deal, and he literally, the negotiations fell by wayside. Like, it seems like the night before, everyone's like, he's going to sign. That's the wishy-washy nature of, you know, the Hollywood grind.
I
It's
take
like-
it all back because he directed the original Bring It On.
I love Bring It On.
So I take it all back.
Uh-oh, Peter's being sarcastic. Got
He's being a bit cheeky,
Peter Quill over here hosting the show.
or like Star Lord.
Star Lord, if you please. Yeah.
All hail Kevin Bacon. But anyway, speaking of big releases coming out, Star Wars Episode 7 resumed production.
Yeah, he's back on set.
Harrison Ford is back on set.
How grouchy do you think that first day with Harrison on set was?
And contrary to rumor, I've been reading that his injury did not happen on the Millennium Falcon.
It did not.
That there seems to be speculation
Oh.
about that. Who knows? You know, only JJ really knows.
Right.
But anyone else excited as hell for this movie? Like, the stuff I'm hearing, like, I don't. Here's the thing. Being somebody who loves movies, and I fall into that trap of getting sucked into the buzz, I just realize it's par for the course. It's part of the climate now. Like, this excitement that we're feeling, it's part of that journey, like, to the actual release.
Right.
It's fun to be excited and to have all these
It
theories.
is. I mean,
do I like all the spoilers? No, I'm guilty of giving a spoiler or two myself. I try to warn people. But you know what? If the movie is good, then who cares?
Yeah.
If the movie is solid, a good movie is
Right.
a good movie. And even though they've had issues and there was the injury and there's been some worries of like plot leaks and stuff like that, there's still a buzz that suggests that these guys are going to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being so excited the night before I went to see the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
In a London theater. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, you and I are around the same age.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to see all 6 movies opening day.
And I miss that feeling of being that excited about a movie.
It's just things are so diluted. We get some CG fest every other week. I mean, you want to get really excited about Episode 7, go listen to Kevin Smith. Did you read his whole thing?
No.
I mean, he got invited to the set, and the guy was crying like a baby, commenting on how it was just... it's not green screen, it's tactile.
I did read that
on sets and all this other stuff.
That they're going for a more practical approach. I'm not as excited because I feel like the only guy who felt Looper was overrated. I'm not as excited about the Rian Johnson installment.
Oh, Rian Johnson?
Rian Johnson.
You know what? You didn't like Looper?
I thought it was a tad. I liked it, but I thought it was overrated. It seemed to be really...
I got to commend Disney and Lucasfilm for making really bold choices. It's clear that they realize that George Lucas... We've got to commend the guy. People can say that he's raped their childhood, whatever. The fact remains... He gave them that in the first place.
He did.
So,
and I've heard that the original unaltered versions will soon be released on Blu-ray.
I heard the speculation there, though, is did you know that Fox owns the rights to New Hope?
Oh, do they?
Permanently. They have the rights. So the only way that we're going to get Star Wars, Disney's going to have to pay more money out the wazoo. And Empire and Jedi are owned by Fox through the year 2020. So Disney doesn't even get the rights to those films.
Oh.
I don't know how they're going to strike up a deal to make that happen. I'd love to see it happen. It upsets me that George Lucas just should have given us all the versions at the same time. I know that they're his movies, but once you create something that's becomes part of the fabric.
It's like going back to
culture,
the Mona Lisa and dabbling paint on it because you decided...
I look at it like, they're his movies, but you know what? Once it becomes a phenomenon like that, it's not just his movies, it's our movie. Like, it really is. Like, it's not me being selfish saying Star Wars is mine.
You know, that scene where he added the Darth Vader's no after he...
how about the way he puts Hayden Christensen at the end of Jedi?
It does completely...
It's fine. If you want to tweak it, that's fine, but let the purists have the original versions. Where's the harm in that?
Right.
Even Steven Spielberg says he regrets altering E.T. It's like, I shouldn't have done it. George can do what he wants. I realize that movies are a product of their time. They represent an ideology that the filmmaker had at that time. Spielberg says that if he would have made Close Encounters today, Richard Dreyfuss wouldn't have got on the mothership and left his family behind. You don't see him going back and having Dreyfuss not get on the ship.
But there still would have been the huge pile of mashed potato.
Of course, because this means something. But anyway, I'm excited for Star Wars. I know we got kind of stuck on there. What else we got coming up? Oh, can we talk about the little event at Jazzy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, yes, we should. Yes. When is that?
Jazzy Rock and Roll Grill. God bless them. By the way, do they make the best hamburger in town or what? Is it just me?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
They make amazing food. They really do. I had lunch there the other day, and I just wanted to sleep there. Anyway.
What you do on your own time, it's none of our concern.
I wanted to sleep on top of a mountain, but I didn't have a mountain.
I just had a newsroom and a camera. Anyway, we're doing not us. Actually, it's who's throwing this event. Jazzy came up with the idea. I'm just kind of helping them spearhead it with Rent a Video and an organization called NAMI, which is the National Alliance of Mental Illness. We're going to do a Robin Williams Day. It's kind of like a dinner and a movie event. We're showing Robin Williams movies, some of the best movies in his catalog from 8 in the morning until about midnight at night. You can go online and read about it. We're not going to name the movies here, but we're showing a lot of really great stuff. So if you're a Robin Williams fan, come in there. NAMI will be on hand. They'll have spokespeople there accepting donations. You can come in, have some great jazzy food, watch all these great movies, and we're trying to get local celebrity Sheldon Demke to appear as Mork. Wouldn't he make a great Mork?
Oh. Can I be Pam Dauber?
Oh.
I'll do it.
We also want to mention, we want attendees to really get into this. Come dressed as your favorite your favorite Robin Williams movie character. I mean, what you got to figure there'll be a few Mrs. Doubtfires there, maybe a couple of Popeyes,
Bicentennial Man.
a couple of Patch Adams, maybe.
I love the Fisher King. I'm all about the Fisher King.
Well, come to Robin Williams Day. I won't tell you what's playing, but I will say you will be happy.
Nice.
Well, let's put it that way.
You're already dressed as the Fisher King.
I am,
Peter,
yes.
so he's already dressed up.
I am.
You're the Jeff Bridges character, the shock jock.
The shock jock, yeah.
Man, is that movie powerful or what? It showed
Absolutely
Williams'
love it.
deft ability to mix hilarity with really deep-rooted drama.
There's some wonderfully poignant scenes in it, I think.
Oh, my goodness. And the big moment, the reveal where Bridges and Williams' lives come together when you realize what their connection is, there's a scene in that movie that is just beyond powerful.
And Mercedes Rule, who doesn't get a lot of...
Fantastic.
Absolutely outstanding. She seems to have fallen off the map. But
What happened? Her
Michael
and
Jeter
Lorraine
was in it.
Bracco, they were poised to be, Lorraine Bracco had Goodfellas and Mercedes Rule had Fisher King, and they both kind of disappeared. But anyway, Robin Williams Day. I wanted to mention the film I've always loved is Awakenings, which might be the closest to Robin Williams' real personality. He's so introverted and lonely, and he's so fantastic.
Yeah.
And when that movie came out, everyone's looking at Robert De Niro because Robert De Niro had the showier role, but that movie doesn't work without both actors. And it's kind of like Rain Man. Everyone's looking at how great Dustin Hoffman is, and people forget Tom Cruise is pretty damn great.
He is pretty solid in it. Yeah, I read a comment from Williams that he felt personally that the closest to himself in terms of a role was Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, I could see that, and it won him the Oscar, and it's fantastic. You even look at something now; it's really prophetic now. Something like What Dreams May Come, which is not a very liked movie in his canon of films. I've always liked it.
I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah, it takes a lot of different religious theologies and throws them together.
I can even take something like Toys, and I know Toys got absolutely ripped. But
I mean, we all have our likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
I mean, Death to Smoochie has a huge cult following.
Yeah.
I've never been a huge fan.
I love it.
Yeah, I've never been a Patch Adams fan. I know that sounds awful.
No, I can't.
Get out of here, Adam. You're heartless.
I despise that movie.
It's too sticky sweet
it
for
is
me.
too schmaltzy.
I'm not below that. I mean, there are plenty of movies that are manipulative. I just felt it was a little too manipulative, but
way too heavy-handed.
But Popeye, come on, dude.
Yeah.
That movie is such a great.
That was the
part
role.
Of my childhood.
Shelley Duvall was born to play that.
She
role.
really was. And people forget that Robert Altman made that movie, which is really weird for him. The Harry Nilsson songs are fantastic. That movie puts. I'm just smiling right now. It puts a big smile on my face.
One of the biggest flops
What kind of name is olive oil? Sounds like some kind of lubricant. When he does that talking under his breath thing, I absolutely love it. I mean, and that moment where he jumps into the ring to box that guy, and he's got those Sheldon Demke calves that look like his arms. That's hilarious.
Who played?
God bless Popeye, man.
Brutus
Robin Williams Day. Coming up September 13th at Jazzy's Rock and Roll Grill.
Nice.
Everyone come out, support this great cause, have some great food, kick back, watch some great Robin Williams.
And that's a Saturday?
It's Saturday, September 13th.
From 8 in the morning till all night long.
Yep. Just till 8 in the morning till midnight. You just come in, chill, grab some food, and again, there'll be donations. I think at night they're doing $3 donations, but during the day you can just come in, order some food, kick back. It's going to be great. Come and say hi to Mork from Mork himself. Nanu.
Nanu.
That show was such an important part of my childhood.
Yeah, well, and it's hard to believe it started out as a
spin-off of Happy Days.
Right, a bit character on there, and look what it became.
Yeah.
We were over at Bernie's on Saturday, and as we came in, there was a Robin Williams movie playing on television.
Which was it?
I think it was What Dreams May Come.
Yeah.
And it's still too soon for me. It was.
I think a lot of people are like, you get a lot. There's not snobbery, but there's a lot of people like, why are you so hung up on some guy that died when there's all these people dying every day in the Middle East, and they make it this political thing. Here's the thing about a guy like Robin Williams. I can't speak for everybody else, but when I was a kid, there were issues in my home life, and I escaped through movies. And like Robin Williams, it was like really important to me. Like, it sounds cheesy, but when I was a kid,
No, I'm
there was
right
a
there
time
with you.
where it was like all I had. It's like,
and he was a genius.
he was
an absolute comic genius.
Mork and Mindy. The minute I saw him on that show, it was weird and completely goofy and off kilter. But I immediately I was transfixed by him. And as a kid, Mork was just one of those characters that kids gravitated towards. And by making Popeye his first foray into movies, it was a perfect, transition into movies because, oh, well, Mork is now Popeye. And, man, I've been revisiting just looking at his body of work. I did a tribute to him. I have a new website called cinemast.net, and I wrote a tribute to him, and you can read it at The Independent too. And I just kind of touched on some of the movies of his that I watched growing up that meant a lot to me, and he means something to a lot of different people. We should also mention he wasn't just a great actor. All these stories started surfacing after he passed about what an amazing human being he was.
I haven't heard one person say anything but what a warm, gracious...
I heard he had some stipulation on a set when he goes to a movie set that he demands that they hire not homeless people, but people looking for work.
Right.
He demands that they get jobs, and then you hear the way he treated celebrities. Like the day before Christopher Reeve's surgery, he went in there to cheer him up. When Spielberg was shooting Schindler's List, he would call him up. Because he knew that Spielberg was in a dark place, and they had done Hook together, so he'd call up and say,
He went to visit Reeves as the Russian doctor that he played in 9 months.
I'm here for your colonoscopy. Right.
And Reeves said that it was the first time he'd laughed since the accident, and it was the moment he realized he was going to be okay.
Yeah, and exactly. I mean, it's hard to not get choked up when you hear these stories, because the guy was, he had all this money and fame, and clearly, it's sad because that obviously wasn't... the guy inside.
He was escaping too, I think.
Yeah. It's sad to think that the funniest guy probably on the planet was actually the saddest guy on the planet.
Well, I think there's a fine line between genius and insanity.
Well, there is. And it's sad also that, you had a lot of people quick to judge, after, we all know what happened. And guys like Henry Rollins, I don't know if you read about Henry Rollins was really, really upset, saying, how could you be so selfish to leave your family? But people have to understand, thankfully I don't suffer from depression, but you can't know a person's state of mind.
No.
Clearly they're not thinking, oh, I'm going to leave my wife and kids. That's not what's going on.
That doesn't, no, it's, as someone who has wrestled with depression and as someone who has been to that point in life, that doesn't factor into it.
Yeah.
You're just looking for a way out.
Yeah, and it's horrible. And it's sad that he's no longer with us, but thankfully we have tremendous wealth of incredible work to remember him by.
And he still has he has about 4 movies that were in the can.
Yep.
That we'll be seeing.
He did a voice for this Monty Python reunion thing that's coming out. He was voicing Dougie the dog, I think it's called. He's got a film called Merry Friggin' Christmas, which I think that one's finished. So yeah, we're gonna get a couple more films, but
another, and I'm hardly chomping at the bit for this, but another Night at the Museum movie.
That's right, yeah.
Where he plays Roosevelt.
Yeah, and that's another one of his films that, I get the appeal. Yeah, it's not necessarily. I'm not the target audience.
I find them excruciating, but I can understand
why
they,
especially for kids.
They have a family vibe to them. So.
For sure. And I know we're running low on time.
Yeah, those who are tuning in, you're listening to the Local Celebrity Show with your host, Local Celebrity Sheldon Demke. We have a special guest. We have Adam Mast in the studio today, talking all things cinema. We talked about Docutah.
Which starts tomorrow.
Docutah starts tomorrow right here in St. George. Salt Lake Comic-Con. We talked about an event at Jazzy Java called... the Robin Williams tribute. We play Robin Williams movies all day long on a Saturday. What's the date?
It's Saturday,
September 13th.
From 8 a.m.
Great food. Also, I wanted to mention we're working on. Actually, you're helping me with this. We're working on Horror Fest, trying to get.
That was my next question. Talk about Horror Fest. We need to find out.
Yeah,
we're chomping at the bit on this one.
We're trying to get things squared away with that, and we've got another upcoming Gorilla showcase. I'm hoping Peter and Sheldon will give us Crutches, the highly anticipated sequel to the award-winning Crutch, which is a classic movie.
This time there are 2.
That's right. This time it's war.
You would have Electa stand on.
For those who are,
We've already been working on the poster. Yeah.
oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It is to crutch as Aliens is to
It is.
Alien.
Yes.
Thankfully, it's not Jaws the Revenge. We'll leave that one alone.
What the Guerrilla Film Competition is Adam takes a bunch of filmmakers right here in town, and he brings them together, gives them a topic, and they all shoot a movie, and we all show them in a theater, and it's just it's a wonderful way for filmmakers to get together to show off their work. Because you don't want to just show your work off on YouTube.
No,
on a small.
right.
It's all fine, but it's all about giving. It's communal. It's that whole social experience and feeling the energy
Right.
of a crowd. And I know that there's so much untapped talent here, and it really is also about encouraging a spark. If some kid, some 12-year-old kid, which we've had before, wants to do something and they don't know quite how to get started, they can get their feet wet, and if they decide it's something they want to do, they can go to school and learn it professionally. I know a lot of people that have gone through Guerrilla have gone on to Dixie, and some amazing filmmakers. You had Sam Perez in here a couple of weeks ago, fantastic. He's like never looked back. He's moving on up. A lot of talented guys. I should also mention that I know you talked about this on the air. Trey Patterson and Dan Fowkes, two totally different filmmakers, shooting the same source material.
Yeah.
I heard you almost had a celebrity death match.
We were going to get a couple of wiffle ball bats.
I'm trying to get both. I've talked to both of these guys. I would love to show both their films so that audiences can see how two different filmmakers interpret the same source material. Sheldon's involved with Dan on his film, and I've been not close to Trey's production, but I've heard some really good things about it. So, yeah, we just want to encourage a spark and get people hope that we can give them a reason to be involved and see if it's something they want to continue doing. And who else? We got Lonnie Black and Brandon Tippett have done every single one.
I take it that Craig and
24 of them
Claiborne
now.
has something in the
Craig
works.
and Claiborne has something with Sheldon is in a movie called Heard It Through the Walls. You've never seen Sheldon Demke in a role like this. Rich Hill's in it. We're hoping that they're going to have that ready to show.
Are his
Jeff-
calves prominently featured?
gorgeous. And wait until you see the hairdo and the goatee. Bad to the ass. And then we've also
Can't
got,
say bad.
I can't. And then we've also got Jeff Sanders. He's working on a film called The Night He Came Home, and a couple of other projects as well. So Horror Fest is a culmination of everything. Every October we do the Guerrilla Showcase, and it's kind of horror themed. And
There
then we
will
tie
be
it in
blood.
with this horror movie marathon, and we're hoping it's going to be a blast. So that's going to be in October sometime.
Well, as a filmmaker, Adam, I just want to thank you for putting these events on. I mean,
Yes,
you do such
yes,
a great job.
you do.
And I think the filmmakers.
Doesn't work without you guys.
Oh.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't be able to have a place to show and to showcase our material without these fun events that you put on.
We stroke each other's egos.
We do.
Here at K-Tim Radio.
Yeah, from 1 to 2, yeah.
Honestly, I think sometimes there's some weird misconception about who I am and what I'm about. And
Yeah, what are you about, man?
no, honestly,
we don't have that kind of time.
No.
exactly. This really is. It is for the filmmakers. I don't think my opinion's better than anyone else. Or I know sometimes I'll get in debates about movies with people, and they're like, "Who the heck is this guy?"
Well, that's what it's
just
about.
a passion thing.
Yeah.
It's not. It's that's all it is. And I love filmmaking too. And anything you can do to give people that chance or that spark. If Guerrilla stays this dinky little homegrown thing forever, I'm fine with that, because if it gives people a chance to do their thing and move on to bigger and better things, that's what it's about.
If it gives Sheldon a chance to dress up as Mork, I'm all for it.
He is the first in line for that.
Yeah, will you be dressed that way for Gorilla
I
Horror
just
Fest?
might. You will have to stay tuned and find out.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Listen to the local celebrity show every Monday at noon, from noon to 1.
Noon to 1, right here on.
Where we don't talk religion.
we don't talk politics.
We don't we talk cinema.
We don't talk cooking. We're
Cooking? Well, we might dabble
Yeah.
in some cooking. No, we talk cinema, and it's the local cinema that we like to focus on. I want to thank my guests, Adam Mast and Maureen McNally, for coming on and giving us a taste of what's going on in their lives. So tune in.
By the way, I love your guys' show. You have great rapport. You're awesome, and thank you very much.
which is
for
nice
having
because
me.
I can't stand Sheldon.
The man hates me. The man hates me.
Yeah, yeah.
You're an easy man to hate.
Oh.
It's the Cavs. I'm jealous of the Cavs.
All right.
Calves.
All right, that's enough, you guys. We'll see you guys all next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye now.
KTIV.